Oh, hello! I'm the bartender. Get the goddamn camera up here. Right there. Perfect. Sorry. Welcome to episode 02 of Talk Gaming. Talk Gaming. Brought to you by the letter F for Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather. Great movie. Obviously, if it had 2 sequels. Anyway, I'm coming to you today from Bartender Studios with the Doc Brown hairstyle. Marty, we gotta go back to the future. Enough with that jazz. Today we'll be talking about future games. Games that are coming through the pike. Coming down the line. Up the stream, down there, and around there. Games that will be coming out within the next few months or the next couple weeks. I decided I'm going to pick a few of the ones that I'm anticipating the most and give you what I think is a generalization of how I think they'll do and why they interest me. So let's start with the first one, LA Noire. LA Noire. Once again, do not have the video software. I will though. I will. LA Noire is from the great people at Rockstar. Team Bondi is the ones who made it in conjunction with Rockstar. And I saw the trailer, which really wasn't a trailer. It was pretty much a something like put together as a generalization of where the game is going to go. This was a long time ago. This was before any of the cuts, any of the full facial animation was presented. This was kind of the concept video that would provide you with the gist of how the game was going to be. And it's shaping up pretty nicely. It'll actually be coming out in a few weeks. And if you're watching this immediately, obviously it's a few weeks, but considering that videos stick around YouTube for a while, it'll probably be out. And from the understanding of the play builds that have been played so far and what we've seen so far, it might be a Game of the Year contender, which is a great thing. And I wouldn't expect anything less from Rockstar Games. There's a little bit, there's some curiosity brewing in my mind though on this particular game. Obviously it looks amazing, and it's obviously another step into getting graphics where they're going to become lifelike. Now, like I said in previous videos, long times ago, graphics don't really make a game, it's gameplay. This one's got the graphics, and it also seems to have the gameplay, but it's going to be a little bit of a, I'd say, you're going to be disillusioned if you're going into this game thinking it's Grand Theft Auto, based in the 40s, based on the old film noirs from the 30s, 40s, 50s. I think LA Confidential was one of the ones in the 90s that has a similar tone as those old film noirs. But the gameplay might make or break the game. And a lot of people are saying that it's pretty impressive how they've incorporated the gameplay, and pretty impressive game all together. But you have to remember that Grand Theft Auto 3 came out for the PlayStation 2, and this is the game that blew everything up. I've been a fan of Grand Theft Auto since the PlayStation, since the first one. And if you're not familiar with the first one, it was pretty much Grand Theft Auto 3 if you were to play it on a Nintendo. I thought that was awesome. I mean, the radio stations that were, I mean, if you listen to the old PlayStation, the music that they made for the game, it wasn't even licensed music at the time. And it was just, the first game was where I started to enjoy the Grand Theft Auto franchise. Now, a lot of you might have jumped in at 3, Vice City, San Andreas 4. The first one always holds a place in my heart. Regardless of that, when 3 came out, that's when the explosion hit and Grand Theft Auto hit the scene running real fast. They had a follow-up. It wasn't even made by Rockstar. It was made by a company I believe was called VIS. Don't hold me on that. But Grand Theft Auto 3 was like running as fast as it can out of the gate, and Rockstar put out a game called State of Emergency. And a lot of people thought, Jesus, this game's great. There's this upcoming game from the same company. It's gonna be awesome. And the premise was you're in a mall and you gotta kill people. And I mean, there's more to it, but realistically, the game sucked. It wasn't a bad game, but it wasn't a terribly great game. So I'm hoping that situation doesn't mirror itself to LA Noire, because you had Grand Theft Auto 4. You've had the downloads for the game. You've had Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Revolver came first, I believe. Redemption's the second one. That was like a sequel to a game on the... Anyway, regardless, there's a lot of steam going behind this game, and I hope it does great, and I hope people embrace the different gameplay mechanics behind it. I think I will. Obviously, we won't know till May, I think, 17th. So if the game's out and you love it, you obviously know the maybe that whole conversation I just had with myself and this video camera meant nothing. Second game coming up, The Last Guardian from Team Ico. Now, here's another part where I can tell you from day one, I was all about Ico. I seem to have a scope of games that are going to be hidden gems or well received, but nobody's played them. Now, Ico, I bought day one. That was back in, I think it was 01. I think it was actually after September 11th, a week or two after it. And it was day one. I bought it. And I played it and I beat it. And then I played it and I beat it again. And it was the most beautiful game, graphically, presentation-wise, at the time. And it holds up pretty well 10 years later. And they're remastering it. Well, we'll get into that in about 3 seconds. So that game was amazingly awesome, and it wasn't a hidden gem to me because I bought it day one. The follow-up, Shadow of the Colossus, took Ico and threw it up in the air and put it on a higher pedestal. Now Ico, you had to save the girl from the shadows, and you end up on a beach, and there was watermelon, but I don't think the watermelon was in our version. Getting off track. Shadow of the Colossus, the gameplay was boss battles. That was it. Boss battles. You want to revive the mysterious girl, and to do so, you have to destroy these monsters. Now, if you never played the game, skip the next couple seconds. Turns out that these monsters are actually like protectors of the world, and you're trying to serve basically the devil, and before you know it, you're consumed with all just evilness, and you turn into a big monster at the end, and the ending's crazy because it gives you control of yourself as the monster at the end, and there's nothing you can do. You're just a horrible person. You killed the protectors of this world to save the girl. And you're a prick for doing so. But boss battles, they took the premise of just boss battles, put it in a game, another breathtaking game, beautifully rendered. I mean, Ico times 10. And that game holds up well too. So both of those games are coming out in a high definition pack for PlayStation 3, yada yada yada. The Last Guardian, from the little bits of footage you see here, nobody knows really what direction it's going, nobody knows what's going on. But considering those two titles that I just mentioned were so absolutely exceptional, that the third title is obviously going in the same direction. This company cares about gameplay, because that's basically what these games have boiled down to. And once again, we won't know. I look forward to that one. Third game on the list, and this is going to be a short one. Dead Island. I saw the trailer for this, and then I saw the trailer reversed, which was the proper way it was supposed to be, and a lot of potential there. Kind of like a sandbox game like Grand Theft Auto, but it's zombies. And that's it. I mean, I love zombie games. Wasn't quite a big fan of the Left 4 Dead It was fun, but this Dead Island looks very promising. Looks like there's a lot more to it than we know yet. So I look forward to those 3 titles. So as far as future gaming, as of right now on this particular day, May 3, I believe it is, or 4, or whenever I list this, those are my 3 upcoming titles I'm looking forward to. I'd like to know what you're looking forward to. Post something down here. Let's have some genuine conversation. Let's have some meaningful conversation. Let's have conversation that's not negative, but positive. Unlike my GameStop video, which is usually, GameStop sucks. Screw you, GameStop is #1, number 1. No, I don't want to have bickering. So please, if you have any suggestions for any future episodes, drop me a line. Provide your intake, your insight into anything that I've discussed. Like I said, I'd like to know what you think. I'm the Bartender. That was Talk Gaming episode 02. I'd like to thank you for your time, and hopefully the next episode we'll talk about something else. Obviously, I'm going to be talking about something else. Let's talk gaming. It's something different every time. I'm just going to relax here. Oh, I'm sliding. And it's going back. I'm sliding. The seat. Talk gaming.